Hello everyone, my name is Sita Dinata, and in this presentation, I would like to share my learning journey from the Corporate Community and Wellness Management course, what I've learned from each lesson and workshop, what surprised me, and how this course can help me on reflect on my own lifestyle and habits. Throughout this eight lesson that I had, I realized that well-being isn't something abstract or fixed. It's a dynamic process, a balance between mind, body, and environment that we continuously build and maintain. So I would like to walk you through how this course shaped me, about my understanding and what it's personally meant to me. So we can start from what I learned in general. In general, I learned that well-being is truly holistic, which every part of our lives is connected, like sleep affects mood, and mood affect motivation, and physical activity affects the mental clarity. What stood out to me was how small the consistent habits like sleeping on time, walking regularly, or taking short breaks can create a real and long-term improvement. I also learned how working life today changed so fast. We cannot predict everything, but we can keep adapting and learning. The key is not to chase the perfection, but to build flexibility and self awareness. Finally, I realized that productivity doesn't automatically mean the progress. Without carrying uh, our mind and body, performance eventually declines. The real success comes from balance, right? And what was new to me? So one of the newest thing that I learned was how sleep actually works. It moves through four stages: awake, light, like sleep, deep sleep, and REM, and these cycles repeat every 90 minutes. I never realized how important it is to keep the rhythm consistent, not just the total numbers of hours. I also learned about eustress, which was a new term for me. It's a positive form of stress that actually help us perform better, like the excitement we feel before presentation or starting a new challenges that happen in our life. And I learned about the healthy mind platter framework that completely changed how I think about daily routines. It reminded me that the brain needs variety, like time to focus, time to play, time to connect, and time to rest. When one of these areas is missing, we can start to feel drained or stuck or stressed. Yeah, and surprisingly, um, I was surprised that the most like how damaging a sedentary lifestyle can be, even if we are eating well. Sitting too long without moving reduces the muscle activity, and over time it can harm both physical and mental health. It made me reflect on my own habits, especially while studying or working online. It often means long hours at desk, excessive sitting. Another thing that made me think deeply was the concept of psychological recovery. I used to think recover just meant to relaxing or sleeping, but it's much more than that. True recovery also involves the autonomy and meaning doing things that feel personally valuable or give you a sense of purpose. This made me realize that well being is not only about avoiding stress, but it's also about managing our energy, knowing when to rest, and why we do what we do nowadays. Okay, uh, the area that I personally need to improve is about sleep. Yeah, I often treat sleep as something flexible, something I can cut short when I'm busy and make up on weekends. But now I know that it doesn't work like that. Sleep debt cannot really be repaid. After learning about the sleep cycles, I started to understand how inconsistent a sleep routine can disturb both body and mind health. Even caffeine can affect sleep quality if it's consumed too late in the day. I realized that improving sleep is the foundation for everything else, like my mood, concentration, emotional stability, and energy levels. Without a proper sleep, it's really hard for me to manage the stress or stay physically active. So from now, I plan to be more disciplined about the bedtime routine, and for the personal well-being project, I also checking my sleep. That I will give you a presentation about it. So yeah, you should see the personal well-being project presentation. Uh, so we have to give you a presentation about the main message of the 8 courses. So this one is um, the message of each lesson that I can carry the meaningful message that build upon the previous one. From the lesson one about the working life, I learned that working life is unpredictable. Change is only the only consistent, so we must stay adaptable. So I read it, adapt to change. And from lesson two, it told me that health is deeply personal. What worked for one person might not work for others because our habits, environment, and genetic is different. Lesson three, um, about sleep, it reminds me that sleep isn't just about the rest, but it's about the restoration of our body. It can help our physical activity, mind health, and anything else like I explained before. And lesson four is mm, physical activity. It's like emphasize movement. Even like physical activity can protect our long-term health. From lesson five about stress, I learned to view stress differently as something natural, not always negative, as long as we can manage it. Because stress is good if we feel natural or acute stress, right? And lesson six about recovery and resilience. I don't attend the recovery session, but I attend the resilience. But I read the presentation slides, so it shows that I learned that bouncing back requires learning, not just coping. Yeah, and we need to learn and adapt with our physical activity, workout, something like that. How to recover something, yeah. And lesson seven, the healthy mind platter that shows me that mental well-being is depends on balance, like focus, play, connection, and rest. Brain need variety to focus on not only our work on desk. Okay, lastly, the lesson 8 tied everything together with physical, psychological flexibility. We talk about mental health and psychology flexibility. Uh, I learned that the ability to adapt, shift perspectives, and stay connected to what truly matters for us. That's all the really tiny points that I could give you for the presentation for each lesson, but I will tell you about the uh, my top three topics about sleep, stress, and physical activity because I think they are more relevant to my current stage of life. So the first out is sleep. Because it is, I think it is the best, the base, the foundation for everything. When I sleep well, I feel like everything feels easier. My concentration, energy, and emotional stability all improves. And second is stress management. Um, it's become my second favorite topic because it helped me redefine stress not as the enemy but as a signal um, to pause, reflect, and adjust. And learning to differentiate between eustress and distress made me more aware of how to respond. Like if distress, okay, I need to hold my breath and using inhale and exhale method. If you stress, I need to concentrate to what I did. And physical activity is because it is the simplest, most effective tool we all have. Just doing some movement. And movement doesn't just strengthen the body, but it also strengthens the brain and help regulate emotions. When we are lack of physical activity, we can feel more tired. Yeah, it depends on your body, but I feel so. Okay. Um, you ask us to give the feedback of your course, but I don't think I have the negative feedback for this course because I really appreciated the structure of this course. It was practical and easy to connect with my daily life. The balance between the lectures and workshop keep it engaging. Like you have the four lesson at the beginning for workshop, for lesson again, and for workshop is really interesting. And I like that we were just learning the concept, but actually applying them. You have a project like the personal project thing. It's really good. I really learned about. I really learning the actual concept in the personal project. Even though I only tracking my sleep, but it makes me also tracking about my physical activity, my stress levels, my emotions, and something like that. And the workshop were especially meaningful because they encourage reflections and real actions like we do in the physical activity workshop. We do the rope, yeah, something like that. Yeah. Uh, even even what I did in workshop about sleep, that we have the breathing technique that I feel that gave me a new awareness about sleep and everything else. In the workshop is really fun, but also in the class was really fun as well. So the conclusion after this all lessons, what the key that can we what the lesson that we can take is that productivity is not the same as the progress. Sometimes slowing down is actually what helps us to move forward. Rest is not the opposite of work, but rest is the part of the work. I also learned that small actions like stretching, breathing, or even singing, it can refresh the brain and bring our energy back. And lastly, self-compassion is essential. Things won't always go perfectly, but being kind to ourselves in those moments is what allows the real growth of mind. And every day we can make small choices that shape how we feel, we think, and we live. And through this course, I learned to see well being not as something separate from success, but as the foundation for it. So I'm really grateful to have this course in my exchange income. And thank you for listening this presentation. I hope this you can get this useful knowledge from this presentation and good luck.